This is the Smart Beach Investor Podcast, where we explore how investors leverage real estate at the beach to live big lives and build their personal wealth. If you are an investor at the beach or you want to be, you found the right place. Enjoy today's show and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode of the Smart Beach Investor.
I'm excited today because I have two really special guests. I have my daughter, Anna Moran, right here.
Hello.
Hello, Anna. And Jack Ray.
Hey, how's it going?
Going awesome. So here's the thing. Y'all are young, right? You're what, 23?
Yep.
And Anna, you're about to be 20.
Yes.
Jack, you're about to graduate.
Yes, sir. Kennesaw State in May.
Kennesaw State in May. That's a couple weeks away.
Really close.
So, and Anna, what are you doing?
I am doing social media, primarily TikTok.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you all something because you're young, you're just getting started career-wise and whatnot. You're about to graduate. What's the number one thing everybody asks you right now?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? You're graduating. Congratulations. What are you doing next? Right? What are you doing?
I wish I knew.
Okay. Anna, what's the one thing everybody asks you all the time?
Are you in school?
Are you in school? Where are you going to school?
What's your job?
What's your
How
job?
do you make money?
That's right. Okay.
All that.
And you're in a fortunate position. You are a social media content creator and you're doing quite well.
Yes.
Awesome. Right? And Jack, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to sell real estate? Is that kind of your thinking right now?
That's what I'm leaning towards the more and more I think about it.
Okay. So we want to talk about that and a few things because there are a lot of people in your position right now. And I want to talk to them about what y'all are doing and what's available. So we have a team, a real estate team, and we do quite well. And our people do quite well. The average income last year for the people on our team was just, I think, $470 some odd thousand. Okay. Some made as much as 700,000 plus. They're all doing quite well. So I want to talk about how things can work for y'all. Okay. A little different for Anna and a little different for you because she's already started her career. You're about to start yours, but you both need to have income to create the wealth required to leave a legacy for your children and perhaps your children's children type of situation, right? So we're going to talk about how to generate income, how to build a great career, and 3, how to create the wealth to have that legacy. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's start there. First, when you sell real estate, it's a sales job, all right? Anna, you're trying to get views on TikTok and get people to buy stuff, and you're getting brand deals and they're paying you and whatever. Awesome. You, if you're going to get into sales, you're going to have to be able to educate folks on how to either increase their wealth through real estate or preserve their wealth through real estate. And that's my job, is to teach you how to do that. And the other part of our job is to help you build these massive careers. And then the third part of my job is to help y'all build the wealth such that you can live incredible lives. And it works. And I'll show you how it works. So the first thing we're going to talk about and look at is at the beach team, real estate wise. Okay. We're in Destin, Florida. We have an office in Panama City, and we just opened over in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama. Okay. We're getting ready to take on the world. We want to take on the world.
Expand.
We're ready to expand. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So I'm going to do some, 5th grade art here. And let's just say this is the United States of America. Okay. That's bad art, but I think you get it, right? This little Florida here, Destin, Panama City. There's Alabama with Gulf Shores.
Yes. So those are the 3 you have.
That's where we're at right now. Okay. So we're going to go over here to St. Augustine. We're going to come down here to Daytona. We're going to come down to Naples or to West Palm, Miami, the Keys, Naples, Tampa, right? We're going to come over to Padre Island, Galveston. We're going to go over to Texas here. We're going to come up the California coast, Oregon, Washington, right? Come up here, St. Simon's Island, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Just keep going up there, Virginia Beach, Hyannis, all the way up to where your roommate Sophia lives in New Hampshire, right?
All along the coast.
All these places, at the beach teams everywhere. operating out of Destin, Florida with our admin and our support and our everything. Okay. See how that works? You come out of Destin, Florida. Okay. So if you're going to be a real estate agent selling real estate, super cool. You can do that. But if you want to move up, become a manager of other folks and a coach and a leader of other folks and build up through the system, you can indeed move up through our program. Courtney's doing it now. I'm going to talk about Courtney Ledesma a lot. She started when she was 23 years old with us. She's now 33, 10 years into it. She owns a house on a coastal dune lake right now, which is, if you don't know, very swanky, cool place to be, right? She has a house, an investment house on 30A that she has rentals income coming off of, and she just bought her first rental condo. She's doing quite well.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and she's about to expand into Orange Beach and to take on that market for us and build up and hopefully start making $1 million a year as a team leader coach for us. So there is an avenue to go, Jack, if you want to do this, and it works out. I mean, you have to do some things and qualify and do whatever and build up over time. But my job is to get you to that point if it is what you want.
So
Okay.
where does one start?
So great question,
him.
right? So let's just say you're about to graduate. Awesome, right? And for anybody that's about to graduate like that, you have to get a real estate license. All right. And if you're going to do it here in Florida, you can go through Keller Williams if you like, or anywhere else. Keller Williams offers free classes so you can take your test. You have to take, I think, 64 hours worth of schooling on this.
They offer them to anyone?
Anyone.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yep. And they're free. Okay. And then once you pass that or go through that time frame, then you take the state exam. Okay. And some folks have to take it a few times. It's apparently very hard. It's been a while since I've taken it, but some folks get it first time. Some people have to take it a few times, but I'm pretty confident that you can pass if that's what it is. And if it's in another state, it'd be very similar. You take whatever their state requirements are and you pass and get your license. Okay. And then if you're in Florida with your license, I just got my Alabama license, and it's what's called a reciprocal license. And if there's some schooling, but it was a little bit easier than just starting from scratch. Okay. It'd be the same thing for Georgia and whatever coastal states. Okay. So you got to start there. And then once you get your license, then they call it, you hang it at a brokerage, Keller Williams, Remax, wherever, right? Coldwell Banker, whatever, somewhere. And then you're on your own. Start selling, do whatever you got, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you join, I would encourage somebody to join a team.
Then start on their own.
Yeah. Unless you have some baked in thing. Maybe your parents are, or somebody's friend is a developer or something.
What's the support that you get from joining a team?
Well, what you're going to have is somebody to go to. All right. It's hard when you're on your own, right? There's no mentor, there's no teacher, there's no body. You just got to figure it out. That's hard. It's really hard, especially when you're trying to eat and get money to pay rent and all that. And if you have nobody to go to, it's hard. Okay. And the way we set it up on our team, it's a little bit different than most places, is we try to slot people in where their skills are. So if you're good at working on listings, getting listings, we want you to be a listing agent and spend all your time listing. If you're good working with buyers and you want to be a buyer's agent and do that kind of thing, we want to spend all your time on buyers. We want to get just really, really good at that. And then we have admin. If somebody's an admin, really enjoys the back end of this business, then be the best admin you can be, right? The best marketer you can be, the best handy person you can be, right?
So focusing on your strengths.
Focus on your strength, become a specialist, not a jack of all trades. No pun intended. Right? You want to be a specialist. Specialists make way more money than just random good at everything. Make sense?
Yep.
So that's where you start. And the reason the support you get is with us is we want you to be a specialist. We're going to give you all the back end help so you never have to even look at the paperwork. You can just focus on doing your job. Then we help you from a legal standpoint. We help you from putting out signs, from marketing and all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Otherwise, you're on your own. And good luck. I seriously don't know how people do it because it's really hard. It's really hard.
Do they?
They do. Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. But I think if you look at the stats, and I'm not even sure what they are, but almost everybody fails.
Yeah.
Right? Couple years in, they go broke. First of all, they don't come in with enough money. So there's some expense that goes into this, right? And you got to make your payments, your bills, your car payment, your house payment, your school payments, your whatever payments, right? If you're not making any money, it's really, really hard. And this is a hard job to start making money right off the bat because nobody's paying you a salary. It's like what you have with your stuff. Nobody pays you unless you do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when somebody says, hey, how do I become a social influencer? Right? Well, good luck, right? Get in there, start working. And if you're going to feed yourself, good luck.
Yeah. You don't have a steady income.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't make it a social influencer. It's fair to say.
Yeah. No.
Almost all of them don't.
No.
Kind of the same thing here. So it's good to have support. Like when you got your manager, it helped you a ton, right?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't do it without my manager.
See? It's the same type of thing, Jack. Same type of thing. Make sense?
But people take you more seriously with a manager, all that.
All the way around. So I'll give you an example. We've sold a little over, we're closing in on 1,300 properties over the course of our career. That's 1,300 closings, 1,300 inspections, 1,300 appraisals. That's a lot, right? How many have you done?
Zero,
right? I remember my coach, the one day I was telling him about how I was doing something and it wasn't working. He said, well, why are you doing it that way? Well, that's just the way I like to do it. He said, yeah, well, how many have you sold? I said, 3. So, all right, great. The system that we're working on here has thousands and it works. Your system has 3 and you're telling me how it doesn't work. Let's go with the thousands that work.
Yeah.
Right?
for sure.
And so I was like, oh, all right, let's do that. But so many people want to do, you don't understand. My way is, whatever, dude, do it this way and shut up, right? So, and then once you get that figured out and you get it in a routine and you do it, you start to make a lot of money. You have a lot of freedom. You have money so you can go do things, right? We've managed to go on a few vacations and travel around the world and live in a nice place and do good things and whatever, right? Yeah. It's very cool. Courtney, in her 10 years, has managed to build up an empire. And in the next 10 years, it's going to be a big empire. And same thing with Gil, with Rachel, and John Skinner, and all these folks. And it's really cool. And so will you if you follow the system. So let's talk about that. How are we going to use the income that you get from selling real estate to build the wealth that creates a legacy that you can pass on or to whether it's your kids or your kids' kids, or maybe you want to give back to society and drill wells in Africa or something. Who knows, right? It's good to be able to do things. So here's what we're going to do to build wealth. We're going to start out with a house number 1, and we're going to call it your primary residence. Where are you going to live? Right? And as somebody like you, it might be your first investment property because we're looking at a condo for you, right?
Yeah.
Be your first investment property. So we're going to call it house 1. And just for easy math, we're going to say it costs $400,000 to buy this. Okay. House 1, your primary residence. Okay. Then you're going to get that. You're going to live in it and you're going to save some money and it's probably going to appreciate in value. So to phase 2 then is you're going to buy another property, okay? And you're going to move out of your primary and into a new primary, but you're going to keep that old house as your first investment. Make sense?
Yes.
And that is going to rent out, and let's just say it's going to bring in $40,000 a year in rental income. And your new house is going to cost $450,000, and now your first primary residence is also worth $450,000. So at the second level of your growth, you're going to have 2 properties worth $450,000 each, or $900,000 is going to be your net worth, that are both throwing off, $45,000 in rental income. So you got roughly $90,000 a year in passive income. So in phase 2, you got your primary residence and your first investment property, okay? That primary residence is now worth $450,000 and your first investment property is worth $450,000, so $900,000. You're bringing in $90,000 passive income. You're still working your job. You're still doing your TikToks and whatever.
So that's just extra on the side.
This is extra on the side, okay? All right. Then phase next is maybe you stay in your primary, but you go buy another investment property, right? So now you got 2 investment properties plus your primary. And now let's say your primary is up to 500, your first house is up to 500, and this next one is worth 500. So now you got 1.5K in net worth. And these are now throwing off 50K rental income. So now you got 100,000 passive income, a 1.5 million net worth. See how that works? And here's the cool thing. And then, so this is where Courtney is right now. 10 years into her real estate game, she has a primary residence and 2 investment properties. She's crushing. 32 years old.
And now you don't even need to have, I see that 1.5 million. Of that initially, how much would you say somebody would pay for like a primary residence or something if it's worth 500,000? A lot of people don't know.
So the way it works, if you're going to buy, let's just start at 400,000 or initial purchase. Depends on where you live and what that initial buy-in is, right? So somebody's going to buy their first investment or their first house they're going to live in, okay? Their primary residence, what it's called. You probably need to come up with maybe 10%, so $40,000.
Yeah.
$40,000 will get you a $400,000 house, okay? And the beautiful thing about that is, and I know 40,000 is money. I mean, that's real money, right? And if your house is 500 to start, then you're going to come up 50. Or if it's 300, you got to come up with 30. But for this conversation, 40,000 will get you a $400,000 house. And that $400,000 house is going to appreciate, right? It's awesome because somebody else is paying the $360,000 difference. That's the bank is paying that. How great is that?
So over time, it just adds up.
Over time, it adds up. And then when you get, so then what happens is that when that $400,000 house appreciates to 10% to say 440,000, and you have a mortgage of 360, you have $80,000 worth of appreciation and equity in that house that you can do a cash out refi, pull that money out and go buy your first investment property. So now you have an $80,000 money from your house. You don't have to come out of your own checkbook anymore, and you buy that first investment property with the money out of the house. And then when that first investment property goes up in appreciation, you do a cash out refi, you take the money out of that, it's tax free, and you buy your second investment property.
And you just keep getting more and more?
And you just keep getting more and more, right? Right? So, and there's a ton of tax advantages that go into this as well. So that's the way it works. And in 20 years, this is after 10 years is what Courtney's path is. And after 20, you might have 10, 15 houses or investment properties, right? And let's say you have 10 investment properties that are throwing off $50,000 to $60,000. You're making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in passive income.
On top of your normal job.
On top of whatever your normal job is. So think about this. Fast forward, you're 23 now, 20 years, you're 43, okay? That ain't that old. It might seem old to you, but it's significantly younger than I am right now, right? So you're making $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in passive income. You got a net worth of $4 or $5 million. You get to determine how and what and where you live your life, right? All those great things that go with it. You're not a slave to somebody else. You don't have to worry about different things. Your biggest worry is, what can I do today to improve my situation or somebody else's situation? And what a strong spot that is.
I think most people just want financial freedom.
Financial freedom, independence from having to do something if you don't want to. Now, the cool thing is if you set this up right, you want to. You want to help people like I do it. I want to help you and Courtney's and everybody because I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. It's really cool for me. And I've got some financial freedom that I can go ahead and do that. And it's really gratifying for me. So that's the win, right? But I'm 56 years old. If I was 46, I'd really enjoy it, right? But so if y'all can get where you're going, doing something like this, and you're only 46 years old and you got financial freedom, you can go and do and be whatever you want. Really super cool. So I think what happens with most folks, or at least when I go back to when I graduated, what are you going to do? I don't know. And the market was horrible when I graduated. To get a job was a big thing. You have a little different situation. You're walking into a good job environment, which is cool. But if you get into something like real estate sales, and it works for you, it may not. I mean, it doesn't work for everyone, but if it works for you, kind of like if you want to get into being an influencer and get paid for it, that's awesome. But it doesn't work for everyone.
No.
The ones it works for, it's awesome. The ones it doesn't work for, it sucks. Yeah. It's the same thing in this. It's just a little different game. But both ways, you create an income such that you can start building your wealth so that ultimately you live a massive, big life.
Should you start buying these investment properties as early as you can?
As early as you can. Okay. But you do need some resources, right? You need some money. Okay. You might not need as much as you think, but you do need some. So what I would recommend you do, Jack, and what you do for sure, Anna, and we're starting to look at them right now. We're going to find a spot for you to land. You're going to buy that. And you're going to build it up. You're going to do whatever you do with it, rent it out and all that. And we're going to use your income from that rent along with the appreciation to buy the next and the next and the next. So when you're 45 years old, you're all set. Okay. Yeah. And it's not like 0 to 45. You'll be set probably when you're 29.
Yeah.
Right? So, and when you're 35, you'll be really set. But by the time you get to your mid 40s,
you're good to go.
Yeah. You're drilling holes in Africa and feeding hungry people and wherever, which is a really cool thing. Same thing with you. What you got to do is get started, figure out what you want to do. And if it's real estate, and for anybody out there watching, thinking about real estate's a really good thing for the folks that can make it work. So you may want to check it out and call us. And I know you're going to do it and look into it. But give us a shout because we've made it work for many people and they're living really big lives and having a lot of fun doing it. And it's a super great job. A little stressful, a little tough at first, like anything is when you first start, right? But yeah, that's generally the game as we play it.
Yeah. Here
at Keller Williams Realty's At the Beach team in my group. Makes sense?
Absolutely.
So that's it. Eddie, so let me ask you this. What's your advice for influencers that want to be influencers?
Probably to stay consistent because even if your views are low, that doesn't mean to stop posting because it fluctuates and you never know if a video is going to take off. Because a lot of people, if they don't get the views or likes they want, they'll delete it. And that it's more about engagement than it is about likes. I feel like that's the best advice.
Perfect. It's the same thing here. When you're talking to folks that own properties or want to buy properties, it's about engagement. It's about asking what they want, what their hopes and dreams are, what they're trying to do, and then matching that up with your knowledge of the market and the information about what is happening in the current market conditions and just putting them together. If you say you want this, currently it's like this, you might have to wait or now's the time or pull back, whatever. And if you can offer that advisory type of role, you'll have fans forever.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to help them, and by helping them, they'll help you live an incredible life.
No gatekeeping here.
Yeah.
No gatekeeping.
There you go.
Well, no, people like personality.
For sure, right? And it comes through. So that's what we do. If you end up doing real estate, if anybody out there wants to do real estate and they want to do it in Destin, Florida, or Orange Beach, Alabama, Gulf Shores, I would be more than happy to talk to them. We'll run you through our system, and if we can help and guide you and put up the curbs in your world, we'll do it, and we'll make sure you live a really big life.
I was the number one seller of cheese knives.
There you go.
In my class.
If you can move cheese knives, you can move condos. Right? Yeah.
Cheese knives to condos.
How many cheese knives do you have to sell to make $1 million? A lot.